This is Ellen Teague of Columbans, Justice, Peace and Integrity of Creation, based in Britain. The Columban missionaries have long had a mission to care for the exploited earth and for the vulnerable people of the earth. We welcome the encyclical of Pope Francis, which will offer moral guidance based on Catholic social teaching to care for creation and to care for the poor communities around the world. We support various environmental programmes, for example the Live Simply Parish Award, which has now been given to 19 parishes and many others have applied for it. The Columbans have been involved in supporting at various levels with resources, and I have personally assessed 4 parishes for the award. And it's been very heartening to see parishes putting up solar panels on their roof, conducting environmental audits, organising creation masses annually to celebrate the natural world, and to organise recycling programmes. We also support the Pax Christi Peace Garden project, which encourages schools to create a special area which appreciates the environment. And in one school, the children painted stones, giving their vision for the future. And we planted there an oak tree, which has more species than almost any other British tree, over 300 species. And the children were able to learn about the value of trees. We've supported the Young People's Awards. The first award will be given in July. The Columbans support the Barbara Ward Award, and it's very heartening to see the number of schools who have applied for that. And Catholic schools have been active in eco-schools, and again heartening to see schools start up gardens, recycling, and to do out-of-lesson study of the natural world around them in their locality. So we would support all those programmes. We're involved in training and networking, particularly through the National Justice and Peace Network, and even more especially its Environment Working Group. We have trained people in all sorts of areas like creation theology. We've had special seminars. We have got involved in issues like fracking, providing more information about that. We work ecumenically as well with Operation Noah, which has a Bright Lights campaign to look at disinvestment from fossil fuels. We support Green Christian, whose Joy in Enough campaign gets Christian congregations and individuals to review their lifestyles in an attempt to lower their carbon footprint. Advocacy is an important area of work for us, and when the church really began to get very active on climate change, we supported CAFOD's Religious Lobby of Parliament in 2008. Many Columbans were there supporting that lobby. And then the following year, the Wave, the biggest climate event in London, many church people were there, and we encouraged it in the months leading up to it before the Copenhagen Climate Conference. This year we're encouraging initiatives to highlight the lead up to the Paris Climate Conference. There's the Lobby of Parliament on the 17th of June. Again, we'll be there, and we've been involved in helping to plan it along with CAFOD and other agencies because we're members of the Climate Coalition. So advocacy on climate has been an important area of work to us, which might be easier to build on with the imperative of the Environmental Encyclical. We support advocacy work on behalf of our Columban missionaries around the world. For example, Columban missionaries supporting the challenge to the military base on Jeju Island in Korea, which is destroying the natural world in that region. We support efforts in the Philippines to highlight the destruction of the extractive industries, particularly gold mining in Mindanao, which poisons the rivers, putting mercury into the rivers and destroys the natural world in that part of the world. And we advertise very positive things, for example, tree planting in Fiji, which they did recently on Environment Day. We're members of the London Mining Network, which highlights the activities of extractive industries which are destructive to communities and the natural world, and smaller groups such as Philippine Indigenous Peoples Links. All of this work is to protect God's creation. Awareness raising is a key area of our work, and we're blessed to have Father Sean McDonough, who worked for 20 years in the Philippines, to guide our efforts. He's written a number of books on care for creation and the link with our faith. For example, the sacraments. Can we baptise with water that is polluted? The food of the earth, how do we link that with our Eucharistic celebration, which is so central to our faith? We've also produced resources ourselves, based very much on Sean's work. For example, Between the Flood and the Rainbow, which links Catholic social teaching and climate change. 2 DVDs, one on the stations of the forest and one on conflict and climate change. And we have a newsletter, which is in its 29th year now. The latest issue of Vocation for Justice focuses on climate change and anticipating the Environmental Encyclical. The centre spread looks at various Columban efforts around the world to safeguard God's creation. As well as this, we will do talks in schools, in parishes, and really support any effort to care for God's creation. And we are absolutely delighted to have an encyclical, which I believe is going to endorse those efforts. And the Columban missionaries around the world and here in Britain will be linking in with those efforts. So please join us in our ministry. Please follow our Columbans UK webpage and also our accompanying Facebook and Twitter. We like to use modern communications to protect our wounded planet and support the victims of environmental degradation, the poor around the world. So it's the 1st of June 2015 and here we are at the historic church of St Martin in the Fields. The Columbans have been part of an initiative, an international initiative, to pray on the 1st of the month and fast for the climate. And this is the initiative for this particular month. It's an ecumenical and an interfaith service, and we're very proud to be part of initiatives like these to build momentum for successful climate talks in Paris in December.